Hello YouTube, welcome to the dojo! You're here with Samurai Man, and today we have the Generations Deluxe Armada Starscream. So this Starscream is based off the Transformers Armada design from way back when, and I always wanted that version as a kid, never was able to get it. So I'm glad that I now own it in this form, because it is very nice. It's a very nice updated version of him. He actually is portrayed in this style in the comics, so it's not like they just put it out of nowhere, because honestly that's what I thought. I thought what was going on before I read that he was in the comics, and it came with the issue that came with this, is that they were going to start doing the Generations line, but with old series updated them, not just G1. So I thought it was like, okay, now we're getting Armada figures, and maybe we'll get and Beast War figures. So now maybe we'll get some updated Energon figures and updated Cybertron figures and all that stuff. I thought that's what their idea was. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe they just felt like putting them in the comics just because. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm glad we're getting it. We have a leader class Armada Megatron coming. I don't know how I feel about that. All I've seen are the official product shots by Hasbro, which are never a good reference. All it is, for me at least, is just telling me that we're getting it. I don't really consider that a good photo. In-hand images, we'll have to tell whether or not they're good or not. Because I did see product shots of Generations Brainstorm, and I was like, ooh. But then I saw in-hand images of them at the actual convention, and it looked a lot better. So I can't really use Hasbro as a good reference guide for do I want this figure or not. But there you have it. Because when I first saw this guy, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want him. But then I saw in-hand images, and I was like, okay, I'll get him. He's a nice figure, and I'm glad I did. He's a great figure. And just another one of my Starscream team. Adding him to the mix. You can hear that plastic squeaking because he does have some landing gear, but it doesn't roll, it's just molded in. Yeah. So, don't bother, you're not going to get anywhere. It's still nice to have the molding just so he has some elevation, he's not just flat laying on the floor. You can see he also has some of these clear bits here, and you can see at the top that missile is moving. What you do is, you push on this clear bit here, and boom! Well, first you get this thruster out, and there's a secondary blast. You go like that, and then once you have that out, launches pretty well. It's just a pressure push, but still, that missile will go far. But then you have this yellow bit pushing out, which is interesting. I don't know. Kind of don't like that. Kind of do like it. I'm not sure how I feel about it as far as design-wise. I don't mind it for the blasting part. I'm just saying, like, do I like having this out, or would I rather just have it pushed in? Inwards looks really good just because that's just more detail going on there. You can see a front view. He looks great with the black, yellow, red going on here. I like it. Oops, I don't think I have this missile in all the way. There we go. We gotta really make sure it's in there. So very cool. You can see he does have these Minicon ports. Unfortunately, he does not come with a Swindle figure. That's very unfortunate. It's not like he was in the comic, the IDW comic, but still, it would have been nice just to have the Minicon, just because that was what our Armada was all about. And I imagine when we get the leader class Megatron, he won't come with his either, but only time will tell. Also, it's interesting that he has some Decepticon logos, because the whole point of him getting a new body, because in the comic books, he does get a new body, and he rips off his old body's Decepticon logo, and he says, let's get rid of all factions. We're Cybertronians, we're not Autobots, we're not Decepticons, we're getting rid of them. So it's interesting that the toy, they decided to leave the Decepticon logo. It makes sense, it'd be weird not to have it, but just as for the comic book sake, it's interesting that they decided to leave it. And I really do like this jet design just because it's very sleek looking. It looks like it goes really fast. Like it's got these outer wings here in the front of the cockpit area, like right below it, just like it did in the old Armada toy figure. But this is a very much well done version over that, just because that one's very clunky and junky, whereas this one's very sleek and nice and transforms beautifully. And you can tell that this is his arms, but not really. If you look at it from like the top angle, you really can't tell. It's just more stuff down there. But overall, this is a very well done figure. I do really like it. Again, I don't know how it would fly. It doesn't have that top fin you usually see in a jet that comes out here. But it does have 2, 4, 6 like wings. So it's an interesting design, but I like it. Got some cool thrusters obviously up here. As per usual with the Armada. That was the whole Armada gimmick for this guy, was he had the giant blasting thrusters that folded over his shoulders. Plus, he has the swords at the bottom that store very nicely. Again, I'm glad they gave him that. You can't really see his face, but we all know it's there. Hello. That's the unfortunate downfall, as you can see right here. His head is just plain as day Jane. But I also want to point out this cockpit is very well done. I wish it opened, because you can see there's a nice seat in there, but you can't really get a good look at it. But it is very well detailed. I do like that. So yes, very overall well done design for the jet mode. So here you have Starscream with Starscream. You can see this is his previous mold and this is his new one. So his bodies do look very different. This was the video game War for Cybertron Fall of Cybertron design, and this is the Armada design that they both were used in the comics. So I like that they have the inclusion of both. Now we have a nice little comic book set. So to transform this guy, we'll just start at the arms. They are tabbed in here with these little tabs that go into the wings. Bring them up, rotate them around so that now we have them facing forward. Go ahead and unfold these legs. They're just nicely accordioned in. Just bring them around, rotate them. The thigh joints. And then also, let's fold in this landing gear, the side of the legs. And here at the nose cone, get that out of the way. Go ahead and push in these little wing bits. Nice little knee armor. Unfold out the heel spur. Make sure to unfold both heel spurs. Love heel spurs. Always good to have a figure stand. Usually you want that. Now I got this big old lanky skeleton kind of looking piece, which I like. It's nice that he has a cool spinal skeleton piece. There we go. Bring around this whole component, the whole top part of it. Bring it down. That has the face come out. Rotate out the fist. Pretty basic fist. They just rotate out like that. Now we're going to go ahead and bring this whole cockpit nose cone area downwards. Doesn't really tab in, but it does sit there very well. It's not going to go anywhere. And if you want, you can leave these thrusters up, or if you prefer, in the comics they do have them like this, and that makes it look a little cleaner, a little more sleeker, filled in. Now lastly, we'll just go ahead and rotate the wings, get those logos looking forward, the wings having upward, and via the done. So Starscream is very well executed in this figure. Again, I'm very glad I got it, because at first I was debating whether or not to get it. And I'm glad I did. Obviously, the paint scheme is a little different from the original. I think there's a little more gray on that one. But I do like this. I like because it did have a lot of red as well. So I'm glad that that was very well shown in this. There's a ton of red, not blue at all, like you usually see with Starscream. But still, this is how he looks in the comics. So that's why I like it here. In the comics, he does have a lot of red. All these pointy bits. This is his new body. And he's got a rocket. So again, this is the new thing with all these Generations Deluxes, is they come with an awesome comic book cover exclusive to Hasbro. And this one looks really awesome. I would love to get an actual poster of this just because it really looks really cool. Like he's got his glowing blades, glowing thrusters. Starscream's just looking amazing here. I love it. You take a look, you do see him eventually. There he is. Showing off his new body is like the first real page where he's like, I have seen the sunrise, and while it was glorious to watch, it casted light on the empire of Starscream the First. Starscream the First would rather spend the rest of the morning familiarizing himself with his new body. It says that all right there, you can see. But yes, he does look exactly the same, as you can see. Spot on. That is the exact same. But again, no Decepticon logos. You can see he is done with being a Decepticon. He is now a Cybertronian. But it's weird because later on, if I can find some panels with him. Well, maybe not in this issue, but somewhere. It's weird because later on they really changed his design in the comic book. They made his head really round, and I don't know where they were getting the shapes from. And then, like at the end of the saga, his head goes back to being square again. I don't know what happened. It's weird. Starscream does come with his laser blade swords. I don't know why I call them laser blades. Beam saber swords. I don't know. Gundam. Maybe we're going Gundam. Lightsabers. Star Wars. I don't know. Thruster swords. Wing swords. Blade wings. Whatever you want to call them. But yes, they fold into the wings and they come out as the swords. So they're really going for, that Armada gimmick where he does have the wing swords. Unfortunately, he doesn't actually use the wing, but I'm okay with that because on the original toy, it looked bad, like just really bad. It just looked like a giant, because the thing is in the cartoon it didn't look that great either because it was just a wing blade, but it would like turn into like a lightsaber kind of, it would glow and be all fiery, and that's what made it look cool, and you can't do that with a toy obviously. So I think this is a nice way to do it. You get the removable pieces that are already like kind of glowing and that clear plastic, orangey, which is fine. So what you can do is if you want to just use one sword, we'll go ahead and put one of them back. But you do have two. That is an option. I do like the fact I usually have them posed with two. And if you want, just have them use one, fold away the wing, because they are on ball joints. So you can just fold away this wing, sort of. Or here, we'll flip out the thrusters. Now we'll fold away the wing. So now the wing's gone. Now he's really looking like that old Armada look. So if you want, there you go. Now he's got that really cool Armada thruster, big thrusters on the shoulders. He's got that one wing, and this other wing turned into the sword. So you do have the options. They did make these wings disappear, and you can really have them angled any way you want, just because they're on ball joints, so I like that. Very good use of it just for posing and such. If you want to have him in an aerial pose maybe or something, have it a little angled downward, he's flying up. Have it go back like he's moving forward. Something, I really like that. So taking a look at that head sculpt again, it is very much like the Armada Starscream, where he's got these kind of vents at the top of his head that stick out, as well as at the sides of his head. It just feels very nicely done. It comes really down to a point at his brow. He's got that chin strap at the bottom. Very well done, glowing, bright orange eyes, just because of the light piping. You can see that. He looks very intimidating and sly. Yes. So cool, I do like it. He's got these vents down here in this yellow. Very well done, just to break up the color. He's got the thrusters, again, if you want them up. If you want them down, up to you. Both are using the comics, so it's just what do you want. I usually have them like this just for on the shelves. It's easier, just because it is pretty wide, or long, you know. It goes way over here. That's like a whole other figure you can have right here on the shelf. But there you have it. Very nice. Now for his articulation, he has a decent amount actually. His wings are on ball joints, as again, you can move them all around. His thighs can bring out, they're on ball joints. You can rotate them at the thigh as well, bend at the knee, all the way up, because they accordion in for transformation. Nothing at the waist, just because of the way the waist is, it's all one solid piece here, as well as here. His shoulder is actually really interesting. They're on a hinge, but when you bring them out, you have this piece here, just to like kind of fill it in, so it's not just like weird, like that his shoulder would be all the way up here. I like that. You got a little gear movement here. There's also a swivel at the bicep. You can see that mushroom peg. You can bend it here at the elbow, 90 degrees. And no wrists are like swivel, but you can fold it in, just again do the transformation. Head can kind of go up and down at the base of the neck, but it's also on a ball joint at the neck, at the neck of the head. So you have that as well. Thrusters you can bring up and down. It's up to you. And then the ankles, you can bring them a little up and down. So there is some ankle, but not too much. The ankles are angled, so he does have to stand like that, kind of, like they are splayed out a little. But it's not that big a deal. I think it's fine. It really doesn't affect me at all. So now we have the scheming duo here, his previous incarnation as well as his current incarnation. And they both look really great together. I think they're nicely done. You can really see where they came and where they went. I like the fact that his old body and new body are very different. He really did have a huge change. His video game body and now his Armada body. Both in the comic books. Very well put together. The scale's not bad. They're about the same height and everything, so very nice. So transfer this guy back. We'll start at the feet. Fold them up. Heel spur and all. Bring out these little wing tips. Fold up the nose cone. Bring up the whole top section up. Rotate them so the wings are inward at the thighs. Bring them up. Fold it in. Do it on both sides. Oops, don't get that in there. Get all that kibble out of the way. Now you have these 5 little tabs that all line up. They're kind of like teeth. Just want to line them all up. They don't really click in together, but they do sit well together, so it's fine. Now what we're going to do here is rotating the wings. So you have the Decepticon logos facing upward. And now what's interesting is you fold in the arms, or the hands, and you want to rotate the whole shoulder, and this bit here fits in well with the rest of the wing, which I think is nice. You don't really notice it in robot mode, but in vehicle mode, it stands out. You need it. I mean, it fills it in, that gap, perfectly. So, very nice the way they handled that. Get it all in. Now what you want to do is tab in the arms. The forearms, they do tab in at the wings. As usual, there's usually that kind of system there with Starscream. He always has those arms that fold in there. Any Seeker mold, really. Fold in the head. And we're done. It's very pretty basic transformation. Nothing too crazy. Make sure everything's all tabbed in and you're good to go. If you want, bring out that landing gear again. Just to have it nicely sitting. So it's not just laying flat on your desk. You do have some way of having him sit up. There you go. So this is a very nicely done figure. I very much love it. If you don't have the Armada Starscream from the original version, get this version. It's a new way of getting it. I do love this design in the comic book. He makes it work very well. And I can't wait for what else they're going to do with the comics. I'm sure we'll have future designs and all that, and maybe they can bring to life in the toy form. But who knows? I hope the Armada line keeps continuing. I want to get that hotshot that they have, the Universe version, or the Classics version, or hotshot, I don't remember. We do have the, again, Leader Class Megatron Armada coming. So maybe we'll get Cyclonus. Maybe we'll get... Well, I doubt we'll get Cyclonus just because we already have, like... I don't know, who knows. But we can get Cyclonus, and then Demolisher. Plenty of others. Scrapper, I think his name. I think it was Scrapper. Who was it? Somebody, I don't know. But plenty of those. Red Alert. Optimus Prime, all to go through. But anyways, guys, don't forget to follow me on Tumblr and Twitter at Mechation, as well as Instagram at Mechas of Ironheart. Follow me in there and find all my pictures, who's making what, what's coming out, all the plans for my reviews and all that, quick updates and stuff, fun stuff, pictures just for fun. Also, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. It's always nice to hear from you guys. Fun to know that you guys are supporting me. And anyways, guys, until next time, have a great day.